All right, our Kyle Porter was there watching this all go down at Augusta National. And Kyle, I mean, we put a bow on this, but it's a lot of smiles for a lot of us for the first time seeing Tiger in 508 days. You were there. Kind of take us on the course, what you saw with Tiger here finishing 18 today, not just today, but the whole week there at Augusta National.
Yeah, I think first of all, just walking up 18, I was standing there. I wanted to be out there, which is why I couldn't join you earlier, because I wanted to see what his reception like. And it was, very much like what we've seen throughout the week, Brandon, which is standing ovations at every tee box, standing ovations at every green. It was really cool on 18, though. As he walked up, you had so many people out there cheering, grown men waving their hats in the air. I thought it was really cool. Augusta National Chairman Fred Ridley was out there sitting on the front row in his master's chair, gave Tiger a standing ovation as he walked by. They didn't exchange any greetings or anything like that, but I thought it was really neat that he was out there to kind of pay homage to one of the great champions of all time in Masters history with 5 green jackets for Tiger. And, I think the week as a whole, he said it's probably about what was expected in terms of, playing really well early on, I thought, and then fading as the leg got worse. And again, the takeaway for me, Brandon, is and I don't know that we saw this as much when he was 24 or 34 even, because his gifts were so immense. He was so talented. He had every shot. He made seemingly every putt. His desire to be great and his will to compete, not even to win, but just to compete, just to enter back into the arena. You heard it right there from him with Amanda, what he goes through just to get back in the arena to compete with the guys on the PGA Tour. It's so immense, and it's one of the main reasons he's won so much. But I think we're seeing it now more clearly at the age of 46 than we did at 36 or 26, because his gifts have diminished with that injury over time.
You talk about some of those gifts. It's one of the things that carried him into this weekend, being able to, as you mentioned early in the broadcast, keep up with those guys on Thursday and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday. What were some of the positives we can take away from his game that says, you know what, Tiger can still play at a high level here?
Well, I heard Chip and Doug talking earlier, and I agreed with them that he hit the ball better than I thought he would. Not every shot was great. He had some kind of wipey, fadey 3-woods and drivers at times early on in the week. But primarily his score was really high because he didn't putt that well. Now, part of that is because he can't bend down to read putts. Some of it he's not hitting his irons, leaving them in the right spots on some of those greens. So even though it looks good, if you look at where he is on the green, some of the iron shots aren't great. But just in terms of his pure ball striking, I thought it was better than I thought. Now, I don't know if that leg is ever going to get that much better than it is right now. I presume it will over time, at least incrementally. But the ball striking, again, was pretty good for not having played in 17 months and was enough to help him make the cut when guys like Brooks Koepka, Jordan Spieth, and Xander Schauffele did not.
So the next question I have for you, Cal, of course, a lot of us are probably wondering, all right, well, he was off for a very long time. The next big tournament on the schedule, the PGA Championship, that's about a little over a month away. Ideally, where do you see the Big Cat returning here on the course?
Well, we were talking about this at lunch today with a bunch of media folk that were just opining on when the Big Cat would return. I hesitate to say he'll play the PGA Championship. It's a difficult golf course at Southern Hills, very hilly, kind of like Augusta National. And I think Augusta was a little bit of a one-off in terms of how special this place is in the major rota, but also to Tiger Woods. So I think he would kind of separate Augusta out from the rest of them and say, man, if I can play that one, that would be extraordinary. I think we'll see him at the Open Championship, Brandon, for sure. I don't know about the two in between there. I don't know if he'll play the PGA because of how hilly it is again. And then the U.S. Open, it's tough on your back. That's a tough slog, especially if they grow the rough up again. So I'm going to say he skips those two and does not return until the Open Championship at the end of July.
Oh, man, July, that's so far away, Cal. I guess we have to wait. You and Chip are in the same bus there. Hopefully it's a PGA Championship, fingers crossed there. But, of course, we talked about how this is a spectacle for the patrons to see him there, but also a big moment for his family. Tiger had a chance to embrace his family there after walking on 18, which is a cool moment. You talk about, of course, Charlie, his impact when they both played together. His mom, of course. This is a big moment, not just for Tiger, but also his family. When you think about it, his family is entrenched in this game as well. You can't talk about Tiger without one or the other. How big is this for them as well?
Well, it's huge. We talked a lot, or we have talked a lot this week about the 25th anniversary of Tiger's first win in '97 when he won by 12, famously, and then they changed the golf course in response to some of that. And we talked about family at that time too, right? In 1997, it was his dad and his mom being there for him, and now we're talking about it. You're kind of flipping it around with Tiger as a dad with his kids. And I think there's some cool symmetry there. I was walking Brandon with Tiger, or behind Tiger, to the first tee today, and it was cool to see the patrons it was the Red Sea partying there as he walked to kind of the practice green and then the first tee. And the only thing he did, the only deviation he made from that walk to the practice putting green was he stepped to the side and he hugged his mom. And it was a cool moment. It didn't last very long, but I thought it was I don't know, it was just a neat, sweet moment between a son and his mother before he teed off for the final round of the '86 Masters.
A moment we all like to see, of course, when Tiger embraces family, Charlie as well. This is a big lesson for him, of course, following his dad, and maybe a little message there of competing and still getting through some trials and tribulations. We'll see how that pans out down the road for Charlie there. As always, Kyle Porter with the breaking news. Appreciate your time with Tiger completing his round today. His final round 13 over, finishing with a 78 yesterday, a 74, and that 71. We saw that old vintage Tiger. Don't forget the First Cut podcast. You can catch Kyle Porter along with others, Rick Gaiman as well, probably breaking it all down in their latest pod about Tiger, the big cat there. Also looking at who might come away with that green jacket later on today. Scotty Scheffler and Cameron Smith, top dog so far. Download and give them a follow.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.